on here. Boom. We're back. We're getting it done. It's all about the consistency, baby. All about the consistency. I have no clue what this live stream will look like in a year from now, but it's fun. Freshly Wild, hello. Good to see you, boss man. How have your habits been the last couple days over the weekend? Caught that Instagram post? Nice, dude. Nice. Which did I think I had one go out recently, right? Cammy, no way. You're here. Where'd you go, dog? Where'd you go? I'm alive. Woohoo! Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Do you like my new background thingy? Freshly Wild, I've worked 10 days straight, made a budget last night, realized no more Chipotle for a while. LOL. Hey, that's good. That's good. Definitely make sure to keep to your budget. That's gonna be pretty essential. That's something, like, you want to talk about habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. Those habits will literally compound. Like the savings and stuff that you can compound for your habits, like that will literally compound. Cammy, I'm glad that you had fun. For anyone else hopping on, this is the Habit Engineer live stream. Subscribe if you want to make me your personal accountability buddy. I teach people how to build habits that actually stick, and I run a community helping people be consistent with those habits. So go ahead, if you have any questions about how you can build habits that actually stick, go ahead, drop those down in the chat. I'm having fun with this Expo Marker train stick. I don't know. Wand. Boom. Bippity boppity. Subscribe. But yeah, so I developed the world's most effective habit building method. It's the Triple S method. Members of the community actually have a 96% success rate in being able to stay consistent with their habits. If you're curious, the next most effective habit building method has a 75% success rate. So I'm going to take that. But yeah, if you have any questions about how you can build good habits, any good habits you want to stay consistent with, you can drop those down in the chat. Or if you have any questions about breaking bad habits, you can drop those in the chat now as well. Taking requests. Cammy said, passing out now because I'm tired and it's hibernation time. Good night, Cammy. Have a good one. Glad to see you back. Glad you had fun. Cheers. But yeah, so habits, man. I'll give everyone on here a quick rundown of how the Triple S method works. So 3 S's, right? Specific, simple, and sealed. The way you make your habit specific is you assign it a what, a when, and a where. You make it simple by running that specific habit you just built through a filter question, which is just, okay, do I feel 100% confident in my ability to stick to that habit every single day for the rest of my life? And if you don't, then you can go back to the specific stage and just re-engineer your what, when, and where until you have that level of confidence in being able to stick to your habit. And then the third S is sealed, right? And so the way that you can seal your habit is you give it some type of 1 second celebration. You want to there's a B.F. Skinner, famous psychologist. Basically, he did a bunch of studies and found that what gets rewarded gets repeated. And so we want to make sure that you have some type of celebration so that your brain starts to build the neural connection of a good habit that you're building and feeling good. And that way it's more likely to get repeated. So that's the brief rundown. I appreciate the nice hair compliment, Viper Strike. Thank you. Ladita, hello, good to see ya. For anyone hopping on here, go ahead and subscribe to make me your personal accountability buddy. I go live Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, helping people stay consistent with their habits, their good habits, obviously. So if you want a accountability buddy or you want someone to help keep you consistent, you can use this live stream in order to double as making me your accountability buddy. But yeah. If for any of y'all who are still on here, if you have any good habits that you want to build, that you have questions about how you can build it, drop those in the chat. I developed the world's most effective habit building method. It's called the Triple S method. You can check out a video on it on my channel. And I run a community teaching people how to build habits that actually stick. We've got a 96% success rate of people who are like actually in the community and their consistency in the habits. So yeah, very, very effective. Viper Strike said, I play guitar. Nice, Viper Strike. What is the question there? Is that something that you'd like to play more regularly, or are you just sharing with the class, or what's the scoop there? Don't practice enough. Okay, cool. So what would you say, Viper Strike, is stopping you from practicing the amount that you want to? Like, what's getting in the way of that? I'm usually outside. Okay. So another question then is that like, is that a habit that you want to have? Like, do you want to practice more? Or would you rather be outside? Because I feel like those are both two fun things. And if you'd rather do one than the other, then it's kind of tough to. It's a little bit more difficult when structuring the habit. But yeah, let me know. Let me know your thoughts there. Like you can still make that work. It's just important to understand why. Okay, so you want to practice more? Okay. How much are you trying to practice, like, ideally? Are you saying like, oh, I just want to play for like excuse me. Are you saying you just want to play for like 30 minutes a day? Or are you trying to like be Bruce Springsteen or something? Because if that's the case, then you're going to have to play guitar for like 4 hours a day. Maybe 5. That also depends on how old you are. Actually, no, that's Bryan Adams. 1 to 2 hours a day. Okay. So, awesome. So let's start with 1 hour a day, and then you can use this format and work your way up to 2 hours a day. But so the way the Triple S method works is we've got 3 steps. You make your habit specific, then you make it simple, then you seal it with a 1-second celebration. Okay, cool. Yeah, age doesn't matter. That'll be fine. Oh, sorry, you meant because Bruce Springsteen. Cool. Nice. But yeah, so okay, so if you're wanting to practice for an hour a day, let's start with that. You can work your way up to 2 hours. The way you make your habit specific, which is the first step, is you want to assign a what, a when, and a where. So for instance, instead of just saying, okay, I want to play guitar every day, you could say, I'm going to play guitar for 1 hour from 7 to 8 p.m. while I'm sitting in my bedroom plugged into the amp. Or something like that, that is like so specific that you could visualize it like you're watching a movie in your head. That's the goal here. So put your habit in that what, when, and where for me based off of what it needs to look like in your life. Like if you're practicing for an hour a day, like when is that going to happen? Where is that going to happen? The what is obviously playing guitar for 1 hour a day. I think at this stage it probably doesn't matter what you play, because you're going to get a big benefit just from consistently being on the strings in terms of just like the feel of the instrument and the calluses that you'd build up and all that kind of thing. So drop that in the chat. Let me know what you're thinking there. keep hitting you until you subscribe. Okay, so you can do that 7 to 8 p.m. Okay. Then the other question is that simple enough, right? So do you, Viper Strike, feel 100% confident in your ability to stick with that habit that I just said every single day for the rest of your life? And if the answer is no, that's fine. That just means we need to adjust something about the habit so that you can stick with it consistently. Because if you really want to get good at guitar, it's something that's not just going to take a few weeks or a few months, but like years and decades. And that's what you want to measure your habits in, is a mindset of years and decades, because habits are the compound interest of self-improvement. And so you are going to need time consistently doing your habits in order to experience the exponential returns that come as a result of that. And if you know anything about compounding, a lot of that compounding happens not in year 5 or 10 or 20, but like in year 30 or 40 or 50. So yeah. Viper Strike said yes because I can play my trumpet in the morning. Oh, a regular musician, seems like. Nice, dude. Okay, cool. Then the last thing is, what are you going to do to reward yourself when you complete that hour of practice? Like, what is something that you would do every day that is rewarding for you, that will help to incentivize you to keep doing that hour of practice? Let me know in the chat, and then we can see whether it's something that's simple enough, because you want to make sure that the celebration aspect of it doesn't add more friction to actually getting your habits done, then, or I guess doesn't do more harm than good by adding additional friction. He says 5 question marks. So the third step in the Triple S method, right, is sealed. And you seal your habit with some type of 1 second celebration. What that does is that your brain likes to do things that make it feel good, right? And so we celebrate when we do a certain action or our habit that we're trying to build here, right? You give yourself some type of reward every day when you complete that habit, so your brain feels good for having just done that habit. And because your brain wants to do what makes it feel good, it makes it more likely to do that habit, because you're associating feeling good with doing the habit. Does that make sense? So you want to find and engineer some type of reward at the completion of your habit that you're doing every day, that helps your brain to want to do that habit more. So like, subscribe. I'm trying to think of a good example for guitar. Maybe you go watch someone shred on the guitar or something, like a Van Halen song, or something like that. Is a habit an addiction that you want to keep? That's an interesting thought. No, definitely not. Actually, I would say that depends. I would say the vast majority of habits are not addictions that you want to keep, because habits are very easy to get out of routine with. Um, like it's something that you have to pretty consciously do in most cases. So I would say that it's not an addiction, because an addiction is something that is just like omnipresent, always in your mind, and you can't stop thinking about doing it, getting it done, whatever. That's an interesting thought. Monique's. But yeah, I would say the only thought that I had that might be where a habit could be an addiction that you want to keep is if someone replaces maybe a habit of, or sorry, like a drug addiction with like a work addiction or an exercise addiction. Those could probably synonymously be classified with good as a good habit, when in turn it's just kind of a replacement of an addiction, if that makes sense. Rhea, I like the sound of a little celebration for discipline. Yeah, me too. I'll be honest, of the three S's in the triple S method, simple, specific, sealed, the 1 second celebration is definitely the one that I'm worst at. Viper Strike, I don't understand what your issue with that statement is. It's a pretty fundamentally basic principle of neuroscience and psychology. What gets rewarded gets repeated, baby. So, what you do that makes your brain feel good, your brain wants to do more of. So Viper Strike, do you have some type of reward or celebration that you would do at the end of your hour-long guitar practice? And Rhea, you should let me know how your habits are doing. Septo, hello, brother. What's up? Subscribe, everyone. Subscribe. I'm just gonna try that and see what happens. I'm gonna keep hitting you until you subscribe. LOL. Name a football player for an edit. I don't know what that means, but Mahomes. Sure. Nah. Okay. All right. Your loss, brother. If I had to wager a guess, I'd say you probably think you're too cool for some type of celebration. Because I used to think that. And then I realized that I'd rather just actually be consistent instead of waffling back and forth between consistency. Which, at least for me, is what happens. I'm not saying that necessarily would need to happen to you. But I wish you the best of luck in your pursuit of building that habit and going against the grain of psychological principles. No, he says. What do you mean? I just don't know what to do. Dude, like literally anything you want. Literally anything you want. Whatever you think is something that's going to be exciting for you or rewarding. Like, you could go listen to your favorite song, or you could go eat a cookie, or you could go on a walk, or you could go just try to play a guitar song that you have always wanted to learn, instead of just like practicing the basic fundamentals. Like, the world's your oyster, dude. You can do, like, your reward can look like whatever the heck you want it to look like, as long as it's actually rewarding for you. That is the only, and it doesn't add any additional friction to the habit itself getting done. That's basically it. So I don't know if that, let me know in the chat if that clears anything up. And whether a reward came to mind for you. Rhea said, pretty good. I've been mostly consistent with everything aside from last week where you were preocupado. Don't know if I should lend credence to your method or my discipline, LOL. It's both. Like, ideally, like, the Triple S method sets up your habits in a way so they require less discipline to actually get done, therefore allowing the consistency to have a higher likelihood of sticking, if that makes sense. So I would say it's both. Viper Strike, I understand it now. Okay, let me know what you're thinking. Yes, Fishy, you are pretty late. We're gonna be wrapping up here in a couple minutes. Not football, I mean soccer. Neymar. What's with the markers? I got bored, and so I'm just hitting people and saying subscribe. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. It's stupid. How are you doing, Writer's Block? How are your habits going? You haven't been on for a while. Missed ya. Expo marker madness. That's what I call it. I've been good, made 2 songs, and been sketching since you've been off. Nice. Way to go. Good job. Proud of you. That is impressive. Let's see here. Any other questions? Today's topic was we talked about setting a habit of guitar playing, with Viper Strike. That was the big discussion subject. And I would stick around longer but I've got another meeting at 7 that I've got to run to and get set up for. So appreciate y'all for hopping on. Good to see ya. Don't forget, keep the change and keep changing. Peace.